So those are my two exciting projects, but in the middle there I have worked on so many other projects for ERPNext. I have also worked on Odoo. So ERPNext has been one of my best frameworks, even having worked on other ERPs. So that is why I am here today. I am hopeful that this session is going to be very fruitful, converting most of you into developers. So let's jump right in. And I start introduction of Frappe Framework. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. Share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Great. So let me just jump into my first slide, my second slide. So Frappe framework, let me start by introducing Frappe. It's a full stack web framework that is built using Python and JavaScript. And the backend for the many years that have passed, Frappe has been using MariaDB as their main database, but recently they have introduced Postgres. So if you are a developer and you are a lover of Postgres, yes, Frappe framework is nowadays covering Postgres. Then this framework has been built by a company called Frappe Technologies. It's a company that builds open source applications, and the ERPNext that we are going to be covering in this course or in this training is built by the same company. So yeah, ERPNext again is an integrated enterprise resource planning software, or an ERP. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, it's developed by Frappe Technologies, and it writes on the Frappe framework, and this is why we are calling this Frappe framework development, because basically ERPNext runs on top of the Frappe framework. Now ERPNext is using the MariaDB as at now. It has not been fully moved into Postgres, but they are in the process of doing so. Like most of you may know already, ERPNext uses the model of if you need a feature, you can fund it, and then they're able to do it. So they prioritize what they want to do. So they are right now migrating most of the things from MariaDB to Postgres. But if you are doing it on your own, you go with the MariaDB. So the domains that ERPNext covers are vast. We have accounting in the software that is very, very comprehensive. Some of you may have used something like Odoo. ERPNext, you know the Odoo version of accounting, the one that is open source, has a lot of limitations. ERPNext allows you to drill down all the way to the ledger entries in the accounting module. So yes, that's a huge plus. We have CRM and so many other domains, as you can see here. And ERPNext also includes some specific domain-specific domains, like we have a school module. So even if you are maybe running a school, or you are working for a school, or maybe you have your clients as schools, ERPNext covers that. Then we have healthcare. Healthcare is the module that I said that we used in one of my major projects that I did. Healthcare is a module that is very, very comprehensive in ERPNext, covering the whole process from inpatient to outpatient. Maybe it may require some customizations just to suit your specific need, but yes, it has an healthcare module. Then we have agriculture and nonprofit modules on the same application. So why use ERPNext? So yeah, this is a question that you may be asking yourself. I have come across it many times. People wanting to know why ERPNext, why not Odoo, why not something else. There are other open source ERPs. And these 3 points I have given here are just for, they are the ones that I give to people from off my head, but there are so many reasons why ERPNext is one of the best software. ERPNext you can pick. You can pick. The first one is that it is easy to use, and this is actually not from the developer perspective. but even from the perspective of a user. ERPNext is kind of easy to use compared to other ERPs that we have out in the market. Then the other huge reason, this is one of my favorite, is that it is fully open source. There is nothing hidden behind the doors. ERPNext is fully open source. The code is on GitHub. You can pick it. You can customize it. It is on MIT license. So yes, ERPNext is fully open source. And then it is easy to customize. This is for developers like you and I. The code is in Python. It is straightforward, as we are going to be seeing as we move along this training. And then they have JavaScript. And if you have worked on any Python framework, you realize that ERPNext is built on the standard libraries that we know, the standard Python libraries that we know. So it is very easy to customize ERPNext and build on top of it, build your own applications, and by the end of this training, you will be able to get there. So there are two knowledge. You need to know Python and JavaScript for you to start. By saying that, I do not mean that you need to know a lot of Python or a lot of JavaScript. No. If you have the basics of Python, you know how logic flows, you also know JavaScript, and you know how JavaScript works with other languages, you are good to go, and you can get started with learning ERPNext. So up to there, I will now jump into the topics. We have divided this training into two sections. The first section is the beginner friendly topic section, and then we have the advanced topics, which are maybe for developers who want to dive deep into ERPNext and do serious things like maybe building their own applications, consuming APIs with ERPNext and stuff like that. The beginner session of this training assumes that you do not have any knowledge on ERPNext. And therefore, we are going to be starting with installation all the way. We are going to be explaining these things step by step. So we are going to be holding your hand as a beginner all the way. Maybe if you at the end, you will have met your objective, well and good. If you want again to jump into the advanced topics, you will be welcome. So the first thing here is the introduction to Frappe Framework and the ERPNext application. I already did that. So I'll jump to point number 2, and this is the installation of the Frappe Framework. We are going to be showing you how you can install the Frappe Framework. These are questions that I keep seeing coming up in the forums. People have issues installing this application. So we are going to be starting there. We are going to be assuming you have not even installed the application. We are going to be working on the Ubuntu OS. So if maybe you are on the Windows application, that should not be a cause for any alarm. Installation of this application is not so different. So if maybe you'll be facing challenges as we go along, you can raise your hand, as Nofal said when he was presenting, and we are going to give you help with that. The second one is we are going to create a site on top of ERPNext. How ERPNext works is that it is built on sites. So a site is basically where you are going to be placing your application. So after you have installed the Frappe Framework, on top of it, you will need to build a site. And then this site is going to be where you are going to be installing the apps that you are going to be building. Apps in ERPNext, as we are going to be seeing as we proceed, are those applications that you will maybe build and put your custom code. We are going to be exploring that as we move along. And then the next thing is we are going to install ERPNext on a site. So ERPNext is one of the apps that has been built, and we are going to be needing a site to install it. I hope I'm getting this, I'm explaining this right. So I said we are going to be needing a site, and then on top of it, we are going to have apps installed. And the first app that we will have to install is ERPNext. So we are going to clone ERPNext from their GitHub repository. We are going to have it on our local machine, and then we are going to install that app on top of our site. The other thing is that after we have installed, you are going to start now exploring the field types that we have in the Frappe framework. This will be very critical so that you know what kind of fields you will be needing when you are working with with maybe specific requirement. You will be able to see to know what kind of fields you need to achieve some specific objective. And then you are going to go into the Frappe desk. Frappe desk is like it's like an admin panel where you are able to control everything within your application. So for those of you who may have worked with the Django framework, you know the Django admin. This desk in Frappe framework is exactly like that. So it is that place where you go and do your management roles within the application. So we are going to be introducing that in detail when we will be exploring it. Then, like I said, the other point is that we are going to be creating a custom app. And just to recap quickly, ERPNext is an app that we are going to install on top of our site. And then we are not going to be building, this point is very, very important. We are not going to be doing our customizations on top of ERPNext app. The reason is when you do that, when ERPNext releases a new update, you will not be able to update it smoothly, because what is ideally going to happen is that you will have collisions and conflicts, and what is most probably going to happen is that your code is going to be overwritten. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be creating our own custom application, and that is where we are going to be putting all our custom code. Whether we are writing code in our API or we are maybe customizing Doctypes, we are going to be putting everything on our custom app, and we are going to be exploring this as we move along. Of course, APIs, we are going to be creating our own files, but you know, as you know, Doctypes, if your Doctypes will be editing ERPNext Doctypes, and what we are going to be doing is that we are going to be using the fixtures, the fixtures functionality to make sure that still this code goes into our custom application. Therefore, even if ERPNext makes an update, we will be safe to upgrade our applications without having to fear that our code is going to get lost or overwritten. Then we are going to go ahead and install our custom app on our site. So our site is going to have like 2 or 3 apps at this point. So our first app will be the Frappe framework. Then we will have ERPNext, and then we are going to have our custom application installed on the same site. I'm going to be showing you how you're going to be seeing that on your installed ERPNext instance. And then we are going to explore the Doctypes, and Doctypes are very, very important to explore and understand before you can jump and dive into ERPNext. Because what happens, and what I have seen happen in teams that I have been working with, is someone sitting down and coding, trying to customize something that is already in ERPNext. So what we are going to be doing is that we are going to be exploring this in detail, just to make sure that when you get a requirement, probably from a client or from an employer, you will know whether that is something that is already in ERPNext or it is something that you need to build a custom module for. The other thing, still on the beginner topics, is we are going to be seeing how we are going to be working with the dependent fields. Dependent fields are very, very critical as a developer, because you need to know how you can fetch data from one field and overflow it to another field. So I'm going to be showing you how you can do that. Then you are going to work with custom scripts. These are very, very important, again, because this is where you will start feeling like a developer. Because ERPNext likes to call themselves, or the Frappe framework, they are batteries included. So you're not going to be doing a lot of writing code, but when you need to start to write your own custom stuff, things that can only be achieved by your imagination, you need to write custom scripts. And I'm going to be showing you how to write the custom scripts and how you are going to execute them in this course. And then the other thing is using the custom scripts to make API calls. Again, this is a very important topic, because ERPNext being built almost entirely on an API, you are going to find that most of the time you are going to be needing to write scripts that are going to be calling your APIs. So you are going to have probably an API that you have written in the backend, but you want an action performed by a user on the front end of ERPNext to call that API and actually do something. So we are going to again explore this one into into a lot of detail, how you can use your custom scripts that we have written to call and execute server functions that are probably written in an API. The other thing is about arithmetics. This is where maybe you need to do some calculations in your application. You do not need to take that calculation to the backend. Again, if there is need for you to do calculations for data that is resting on the database, yes, that's best done on the backend. But if you need to do things on the fly, maybe there are fields that you have on the front end, they have some arithmetic, not arithmetics, but they have some numbers, for instance, and you just need to add them. Or maybe there is some kind of a date, and all you need to do is to display the age of someone. You do not need to go to the backend and do that. That can be calculated from a custom script on the front end. So we are again going to dive and go deep into that. Then we are going to be working with server scripts. Server scripts are now the code that we are going to be writing on our backend files. So we are going to be having our custom files on our custom app, where we are going to be writing our custom code, customizing it, and these scripts are going to be doing other things just to make our application bump into life. Still on the beginner topics, we will also explore the menus on the custom application that we will have built, because we are not going to be expecting, or maybe when you build an application for your users, you do not expect them to start looking for things all over the application. So I'm going to be showing you how you can organize your application and your links into menus that look exactly like what ERPNext has on desk, or what Frappe provides on desk. So we are going again to dive and explore that. And then we are going to be looking into email functionality. Remember, this is still in the beginner topics. Emails are very, very important, especially today, because communication is going into emails and things that are automated. So we are going to be seeing how we can work with the email module in ERPNext. We are also going to be seeing how maybe you can automate emails. Maybe after an action has been performed, you can trigger an email event and maybe send some emails to some group of people. Then we are again going to look into creating custom reports. ERPNext is very vast in terms of reporting. We are going to be exploring reports. We are going to be diving deep and seeing how we can maybe create custom reports to generate basically any kind of report that you will be needing. The other thing is the print format. Again, this is something that is very important, because after you have built your application, you have given it to your end users, they may need to see some print formats of something. And maybe the format that ERPNext has provided out of the box doesn't work for you. Or maybe you are working for an organization which already has print formats, and they want the application you are giving them to produce exactly what they already are using, so that they do not change the feelings of their users. So this is something that we may be needing to do, or you may be needing to do on your daily basis, and that is why we included it as one of the topics in the beginner series. So yes, we are going to be doing that. And then the other thing that we will be needing is schedulers. Schedulers are where you will be needing probably to get stuff done, maybe at a specific time. Maybe it's at midnight. Probably you'll not be in the office, but you need something done at that specific point. What you're going to be doing, especially this, I see this happening so much with hospitals. They need to do something at night, and maybe the admins are not there at that time. So the best thing to do there is to set a scheduler, which is going to run at the time that you are going to specify, and then it is going to execute some code which is going to do what you will have instructed it to do. So I'm going to be showing you how to write schedulers. I'm going to be showing you how to set them up so that they can run at the time that you scheduled. The other thing, still on the beginner topics, is the Dialog API. This again we are going to be working with a lot, and I believe also you are going to be working on it so much on your daily basis. The Dialog API enables you probably to gather data from users and also to explore other things. I'm going to be showing you that as we move along. We are going to be seeing what you can do with the Dialog API. Collect the data, and then send it to the backend probably and do some things and maybe give the user feedback depending on what has happened on the user. And then there is URL routing. This one is in the instances where you may be needing to move to specific pages of your application. I'm going to be showing you how to pass data from one view of your application to another view. And again, probably you need to go back. So we are going to be exploring all that. Then there is currencies. You may be working on an application which maybe is going to be used in multiple countries, or maybe the company you are working for has offices in multiple countries, where you may be needing to customize your application in such a way that you can work with multiple currencies. We are going to be exploring that. I'm going to be showing you also how to do that. Then there is implementation, implementing content pagination. If you are building your application, for instance, and you need to provide pagination, which ERPNext has not provided, it's something that maybe you need to figure out. But then the good news is this is something that we have covered and in this training series, and therefore we are going to be doing that also as we move along. And then there's the Frappe chart. As you know, charts are very, very important in any software application. You need, after you have built your application, it is processing data, it is doing all that things, automations and all that. The end users need to see things quickly. They need to see things that where they can derive value very fast. So this is something that if your application doesn't provide charts, it becomes very, very difficult for end users to process the data that you may be providing for them. But if you give them charts, it becomes extremely easy for them to derive meaning out of them. So in this series, we're also going to show you exactly how you can do that in ERPNext. Come up with custom charts, maybe customize the charts that are already there to suit your specific need. And that will be the end of the beginner series. And now we are going to jump. After that, we are going to go into the advanced topics. Advanced topics.
Sorry, Karani, sorry, one. It's for attendees. If you have a question for the beginner topics, I know some of you it is first time they get in touch with ERPNext and Frappe framework. Some terminology are not clear. So will our goal in this training series to clarify all these doubts. By the way, the presentation is
hours will it be for the total of the training?
The training will be 15 hours for beginner topics, 1 hour per day, and another 15 hours for advanced topics.
So it will be 60 days, 2 months,
3 weeks and 3 weeks.
okay, 3 weeks. Thank you very much.
How many sessions over here?
It will be around 15 sessions, 1 hour each.
No, 15 sessions over, and this is the 16th one.
No, this one is not accounted. It is introduction only. But from next week, I will announce the starting date. Depends on the attendees confirmation. I will send an email and tell you when we will start the first session.
Okay, this is the first day you are conducting this training?
This is introduction. It's a demo.
Okay,
Just
fine.
introduction. It is not accounted from the program.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Okay, go ahead, Karani. Karani, go ahead, please.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
Do we have anything to do or to install before we start the first sessions?
No. If you want to practice, it's a good question, by the way. The session is 1 hour. The 1 hour, the consultant will show you the topics on his machine, how it works, what is the code, what is the navigation, all these steps, it is recorded. If it is things not clear, you will ask on that topic what about your question. But practice, it's not included in this 1 hour. So you have to prepare your instance locally, or you have other instance. We will not give instance for practice. So you have to prepare your own instance.
So it won't be any practice sessions.
Practice, it's out, offline.
Okay. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
And is there any session for the deployment with, for example, Portal Azure with Microsoft environment?
Deployment, I think it is covered in the advanced topics program. Karani, can you confirm?
Yes, Nofar, deployment, we can, maybe what we can do, we can include it. It was not included in even in the advanced sessions, but we can show that because deployment does not take a lot of time. So we can just maybe add it somewhere in the advanced topics.
So we'll include the deployment steps in the advanced session, yes. Confirm, yes.
Because we are working with multi-tenancy environment and a lot of different and heterogeneous customers. And my question is there any multi-tenancy in Frappe Framework?
Okay, we will cover this in the advanced topic. We'll explain this. Multi-tenancy is there. Okay, it is available there. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Karani, because we have to cover the advanced topics.
Okay, great. So I am audible, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, let me confirm that Frappe is multi-tenancy. So if you have a multi-tenancy need, we are going to be.
Karani, unmute yourself.
Sorry?
Unmute yourself, Karani.
Okay. You can hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. So I was saying multi-tenancy is in Frappe framework. So we are going to be showing you how to deploy that if you have such a requirement. The other thing I may want to emphasize is that the 1 hour that Nofile is talking about, I confirm that will not be including the training sessions. And the reason is because we want this training to be very intense. We want to cover a lot of ground. And therefore, if we allow everybody to practice as we move along, we are going to spend a lot of time and we are not going to be able to cover the ground. So that is why Nofal is recording the videos. And after every session, you are going to have a video on your machine, so you can download it, and you can pause and then practice as you go along. So that we think will help us cover more ground. So let me jump into the advanced topics, and what we are going to be covering here are the first topic here will be controllers, ORM, and SQL in the Frappe framework. Remember here we are going to be working entirely on the MariaDB. So we are going to be seeing how we work with controllers. Controllers are the places where you write your logic. ORM is how ERPNext has. We are going to be seeing how ERPNext has implemented ORM, how you can use their ORM to interact with your database. We are also going to be seeing how you can write your SQL queries. Maybe for some of you who are strong in SQL. So we are going also to be exploring that. And then we are going to look at hooks and the doctypes, and we are going also to see how we can use the hooks to manipulate doctypes and maybe create events that do some things inside of those doctypes. And a doctype in ERPNext is basically like a model. So it is like a table inside of your database that is holding data. So we are going to be seeing how we can use hooks to maybe manipulate the data or to manipulate actions inside of our instances. And then we are going to look into integration of ERPNext with devices. And here we are going to be doing real integration of an ERPNext application, the instance that we will be working with a biometric device. So we are going to be having a biometric device. We are going to implement it, to integrate it, and we are going to see it communicate and send the data to our application. And then maybe after the ERPNext has received the data, you can now go ahead and do other things that you want to do with that data within the ERPNext ecosystem. And then we are going also to be looking at the barcode printing inside of ERPNext. As you know, right now ERPNext. Sorry? Yes, please.
Biometric device, I think the term is very well known, but biometric device is like a fingerprint now is used
Oh,
in
okay.
HR module. It is collecting the in-out employees' time device. So it is very high demand to use this biometric device to be connected in the ERPNext, and we will show these steps how to do integration with biometric devices. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Nofal. Yeah, so the other thing we are going to be looking into is the barcode printing from within your ERPNext instance. And we have looked at this because we have realized that there is a need for people to use barcodes, and ERPNext provides barcodes only in the items. So if you need to use barcodes, probably in manufacturing, or maybe in your hospital instance, if for instance you need maybe patients to be able to do self-check-in with a barcode, this is not provided for. And therefore we have done this. We are going to be showing you how to build your own barcode system, how to integrate it with the ERPNext, and then how to print those barcodes and make them useful. The other thing, before I go to the other point, is make them useful within the ERPNext instance. So maybe after you have probably given the code to your application, it is able to do other things that you may be needing to do with that data. The other thing is that we are going to be writing our custom APIs, and this is very, very important because APIs are where we are going to be maybe needing to integrate with other applications. Maybe you have an app that you have built, it's a mobile app, or probably it's something like maybe an app you have built with Vue.js or maybe Angular or any other front-end application, and maybe you need the data from that application to communicate with your ERPNext instance. What you need to do there is to have an API so that your app can call that API, which then does whatever it is supposed to do at the back end. So we are going to be taking this topic, and we are going to be very, very serious on that, the APIs topic. So it is going to be covered broadly.
So API will be in the two direction, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Getting data from ERPNext to an external system, and from external system to ERPNext.
Correct. That's correct.
As you mentioned in the beginning, you was able to collect, scan, and IRM image from hospital devices into ERPNext. It was collected centrally, and it is a huge advantage in your experience. Really, we appreciate your experience.
Correct.
Go ahead.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct, Nafal. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Next, we have consuming the APIs. So this is what, Nofal, you have been mentioning. So we are going to look into how to consume our custom APIs from other applications. So we have an application out there which needs to consume our APIs. We are going to do that. Then there is sending data from our ERPNext instance to other applications out there. So what you're going to be doing is we are going also to explore how you can send data from your ERPNext instance to another application out there through an API. And then you are going to look in.
Sorry to interrupt, because things are coming. Nowadays, integration with government to collect e-invoice, it comes very required, and it is mandatory in some places. So maybe one of my prospect in Saudi Arabia is asking to integrate ERPNext and Hayat Zakat Zakat is tax authority in Saudi Arabia. So this API, it is allowing to send data from ERPNext to this tax authority and collect data on time. Yes. Sorry, huh?
No, it's okay. It's okay, Nafal. Thank you so much. Yeah. So yes, that's a huge requirement. It is actually what I was also doing for the Uganda government. So I confirm it is in great demand. There is also another requirement. I have a client who also wants me to do that in Egypt. The client is in Egypt. So yes, it is in huge demand. So the other thing is using events to manipulate doctypes. Doctypes, again, remember we said are like the tables that you have in your database. So we are going to be using events. We are going to be writing events and calling or triggering them so that they manipulate the data that we have, and that subsequently manipulating what our users are seeing. And the other thing is that we are going to be building web apps using Frappe Framework. So we are going to be showing you how you can use the Frappe Framework to build your own web applications. So you customize your application. You take the Frappe Framework, even without ERPNext, you build an app with it and you deploy it wherever you want to deploy it. We are going to be covering that. And we are also going to be showing you how to use Bootstrap Templates within your Frappe Framework. So this is going to come in very handy when you need to have a different look. Maybe you want to customize your application for your client, or even for yourself, or for your use, or for your employer, and you want this application to have another template, maybe a Bootstrap template that is outside of what ERPNext is providing, maybe for some specific reasons. We are going to be showing you how to integrate the Frappe Framework with your own custom Bootstrap template. Still on the advanced topics, we will look at how you can work with the dynamic data on your custom application. Remember, going back to the previous slide, here we have, we will be showing you how to integrate your Bootstrap template. but maybe some of you may knowing that when you integrate a template, initially it comes with that static data. So how do you get the data that you have in your database to come to your application? So that is the point number one here. So we are going to be showing you how you can get the data from your database coming to the front end of your application where the users can see it and make sense of it. Then another very important topic is error handling. We are going to be showing you how to handle errors within the ERPNext and the Frappe framework, so that if you meet or you are maybe something happens and you have an error in your application, you're able to debug it, you know where to go to find the error, and you're able to sort that and be able to move on. The other thing that we are going to be doing is building custom pages. Again, pages are things that you are going to be requiring to build, if not on daily basis, maybe on in every application that you are going to build as a developer. You may need to build a page, just one page, probably to consume some information or to display some information within your application. So how you are going to do that, you may not be needing to create a whole doc type for that. Maybe all what you need to do is to build a page and then display the data that you need to display on that page. So we are going to show you how to build those pages within your instance. Then you're going to show you how to put your instance or how to manage the code that you have written with your own GitHub repository. So if you need to maybe manage the code with your GitHub account, we are again going to show you how you can connect the code that you have locally so that you sync it with your GitHub repository and you can manage your versions from there. Then there is this is one question that one of you has asked, multi-tenancy. Yes, we are going to be showing you how to work with multi-tenancy. Like Nofal mentioned, Frappe is organized into sites, and every site creates its own standalone database. So what happens there is that every time you create a site, it's like creating a new client within your application. So the ecosystem is the same, but the databases are different, and even the domains are different. So yes, we are going to show you how to set up ERPNext for multi-tenancy. And actually, as one of you has requested, we are going to add how to deploy the multi-tenant application to whatever service you want to deploy for hosting. And then another topic, since we are in the era of e-commerce, we thought it is critical that we look at the e-commerce module inside of ERPNext. So we are going to be exploring the e-commerce within ERPNext. We are going to see how you can integrate with the multiple payment gateways. They have done lots of heavy lifting, so what we are going to be doing is actually some small customizations here and there, and we will be able to integrate with a lot of applications like PayPal, like Stripe and all that. So we are going to be seeing how to integrate your e-commerce site with your payment gateways within the ERPNext instance. Thank you so much, and I hand it over to you, Nofal.
For e-commerce, Karani, you want to say like you are a company of selling bottle of waters.
Yes.
Different dimensions. So your items will be exposed to end user or end customer. He can select the item and pay through the website. Then the item get delivered to him, right? Like this.
Yes, you.
All this structure is in one instance, one application.
That's correct, Nofal.
We don't need to integrate to any other. So e-commerce integration only with payment gateway will happen by default, or automatic payment with integration with payment gateway, right?
Yes, that's right. They have done most of the work. The ERPNext team has done most of the work of integrating their e-commerce platform with most of the common payment gateways. And so what we are going to be doing is just exploring that and making sure that the people attending this session will have that knowledge on their fingertips.
Okay. So one point for people who don't know ERPNext, system, accounting, CRM, sales, buying, stock, manufacture, all modules will be installed, plus a website. A website, it's integrated with your ERP, direct integration without any third party required to put this integration. Because I have the background of Oracle ERP, it doesn't have these features. Like you have a separate site and a separate ERP, and you have to build this integration between these two objects. And building integration, it necessitates a lot of stuff to put in between. But ERPNext makes a very easy this step to deliver a site, a website, plus an ERP integrated directly. So in e-commerce itself, you can display the unit price from your ERP system. So you can control your pricing policy from the ERP to the website without much effort. So thank you very much, Karani, for your explanation. Now we are at the end of 1 hour our session. We accept question now. If you have any question, go ahead, please. Unmute yourself and ask, please. Yes. Cover ERPNext shipping for the course. See, ERPNext shipping, it is more functional, not technical. This is more development course. Maybe in the documentation of ERPNext, you can find, go to docs.erpnext.com, you can find your questions. What would be the timing for the course? It's like the sessions of today, starting time and end time. This 1 hour, we will keep it because the time zones differ from India to United States, all over the world. So this time is good for all. Yes.
Excuse me, can we make it 90 minutes instead of 1 hour?
Sorry, I didn't get your question again.
Now, the time of the session is only 1 hour. Can we make it 1 hour and a half, for example, just to make the days less days and we can complete more topics?
If you make it 1 hour and a half, it will take less days, correct? But it is heavy, and it is already discussed this point and decide to make it 1 hour a day. Yes. So any other question? So since there is no questions, I hope this demo, it was clear, and there is a lot of benefits. As I said, going to collect this information from the forum, from the documents, it will take lot of time for you. If you want to build your own capability, internal capability, technically, it is good opportunity for you to start. I am happy to maintain this course, inshallah. And starting from now, if you are ready with to attend, please send me confirmation, official confirmation to my email. So I will confirm. So I will send the slides now by email. There is my PayPal and my bank account. So I hope everything is clear. And the platform is clear also to communicate this session, Jitsi. So if you have any comments, please send it to me on my email. How much is the voice is clear? Are we fast? Do you need more clarification? All this, if you have any comments, send it by email. We will study it internally. So sorry for the guys who was having trouble in voice. They are not able to hear. I have prepared recording. It's not full session. It's just 36 minutes. I will share it at the end of this call. Thank you. Just share after. Okay. Can you just share this demo recording? Okay, share this. Okay, I will share it as I said. Okay, I will close the call now. So waiting your confirmation to start soon. Also, I will send, by the way, can you open your webcam to take a screenshot, if you don't mind? So open your webcam. Yes. مرحبا بكم. Welcome. So anyone else? So make say cheese, huh? Say cheese.
Cheese.
Okay. Some of you, there is no webcam, huh? Okay, done. Okay, thank you guys for your time and have a nice end of day.